everyone, welcome back to Blooms and Bicycles. Hope you had a great start to the year. Cycling into the Valentine season gives us the opportunity to do two things. First, celebrate romance if we have it. Second, let some of the people in our lives know that they are not on their own. Traditionally, Valentine's Day has been geared towards love in the romantic sense of the word, but then there's love in the family and platonic sense of the word too. Ultimately, they all come from the same place, the heart. So whilst not everybody has a romantic partner in their life, this can make the perfect opportunity to let people know they are still very much loved all the same. And because of this, we have decided to create the Valentine's flower collection to include symbols of admiration, appreciation, gratitude, and sincerity alongside the symbols of love. Making up the fundamental components which have to come hand in hand for a love in the truest sense to exist, our Valentine's letterbox flowers encapsulate the essence of all the loves in all their forms. Focusing primarily on the rose flower, an assortment of many varieties are combined. Each with their own unique swirls, together they create an incredible display of geometric patterns similar to those that can be found in the kaleidoscope. And just like the individuals behind each relationship, the swirls start in their own place, in between different petals. And just like the journeys of understanding we each go on with one another, the more we follow the swirls, the closer we find they become. And although those swirls may not necessarily follow the conventional circular shape as expected, and as so many of the garden varieties show us, if we persist, then eventually we arrive at the same centre petals, a place which some may call destiny. In today's tutorial, we'll be sharing with you how to construct the Valentine's flowers in the medium size. Today we have already prepared our vessel with the water and the flower feed. However, if you would like to learn how to prepare your flowers to make them last as long as possible, you can always refer to our flower care video, which can be found in the description box below. So to begin with, we'll start by constructing our grid using the strongest of stems. And in this collection, that is a variety of different eucalyptus types. So this, being my favourite actually, the Nikolai, is one that can be divided into two. It's very flexible and sweeps off because it has so many branches which cascade. So if we look for a halfway point and just trim away above the offshoot on an angle, and then removing any of the leaves or smaller shoots which will fall under the watermark, we'll just allow this to sweep off to the left, making use of its natural shape. And with this other piece, as you now can see, it wants to sweep off in the opposite direction. So this will ideally be placed off to the right in the mirroring position. And now to take the Cinerea variety, which is very upright. So trimming away and removing any of the offshoots, again like we just did. We'll look to position this so it sits almost in an upright position towards the back, if it wants to. We might just need to trim it down a slight bit more. If it does topple out, it just means that the shoot is too long relative to the size of the water vessel. So now to take the final piece. So again, trimming away. We'll now position this one towards the front. So now we've created a star formation with our greenery to create a really strong grid for the flowers to come. So first we're going to take our red roses, each a different variety, to offer different points of interest with different geometric swirls. And working to the magic of 3, we'll build out a triangle by trimming the roses down to different heights. So placing one towards the back, we'll just keep, as a case of trial and error, repositioning the flowers into gaps within the grid until it sits in the place where you're happy, and also the flower is happy. You'll often find that flowers will not sit in a place where they're just not meant to be. If that is the case, sometimes just allowing them to fall in their own way is best. And taking away any of the outer petals from the rose, which don't add to the design in the way that you want. We'll now add that one in on the opposite side. However, just being mindful for how bushy some of this greenery is, we'll want to make sure that the roses can be fully viewed. And now that we've added our roses in, it's actually easy to see how, relatively speaking, the greenery is in some places slightly too tall. So if that is the case, we'll just insert that back into the grid as a smaller offshoot once trimmed away. And we can also start to add in some of these smaller shoots in the same way now, around the roses. Just being sure though that the leaves are taken away if they would fall under that water line. So next we'll take our pale pink and our cerise pink rose. As symbols of appreciation and sincerity, we've chose to add these into our Valentine's collection because of the message they convey. So, given we already have 3 points with the rose, we're now building out 5 points of interest with all of the roses combined. So taking into consideration the other heights and angles of the existing arrangement between the red roses placed so far, we'll position our pink roses in a way that creates coverage and starts to build out that fan shape using the magic of 5 so that we see the design as a whole come to life. And now to take our asparagus ferns, which offer more support for the taller and candle-shaped stems to come. As you can see, it grows in very unpredictable, quirky ways, and this can actually be a feature to make the most of. So maybe leaving this one as it is without trimming anything away. Just allow that one to fall so that you can see how wild it is. So trimming our asparagus into shorter pieces so it doesn't dominate too much the other flowers in the design. Given we're only using this really for support and to offer some different textures, we'll allow these to sit very low in comparison to the flower heads. And just to also note with asparagus fern, it doesn't have to sit in the water. It can just be placed in a way where it rests on top of the grid created so far. It won't be as flexible within a few days' time, but it will still retain its colour and form. Now to add the Astilbe, where the asparagus all makes sense. With the Astilbe, you'll receive 3 different varieties, all in different colours. The first is this cerise pink one, and this is the largest, which is best placed towards the back. Just making sure our rose is still visible, we might just need to tweak where things are. And now we have the soft pink one, which is the smallest, which is better towards the front. So trimming away significantly to create that cascading effect from taller down to smaller. We'll allow this to sit in between the roses, low down. And with the purple piece, which will go in the middle area, we've trimmed this away, but not so much as the other one. And there we have our triangle of 3. And now to add our peach blossom, traditionally the flower of good fortune and romance. Maybe we'll add this in on the opposing side to the purple Astilbe to help build out that fan again. And what's so beautiful about the peach blossom is that it will continue to flower even though it's cut away from the tree. For as long as it's in water and within its shelf life, then flowers will continue to grow into beautiful bright pink buds. And if you're lucky enough, some of them buds might actually make it into a full burst flower, which ends up like a little star. It's gorgeous. And now our Hypericum. Usually Hypericum is a very straight stem. Today's is very wild, as you can see, but we'll make use of this. We'll go with the flow of what nature has given us. And again, to help build out that fan shape, we'll place this just off to the left, so we have a nice balanced design. So just to take one final look from the front, hoping it all looks as okay from the front as I think it does. maybe just to trim away some of the greenery so it doesn't dominate the Astilbe too much, because this Astilbe is so pretty and so delicate. So given how heavy duty the eucalyptus is, just thinning out some of the branches, we'll drop them in to fill any voids within the grid. And taking a step back, I think we're thereabouts. So there you have it, the medium-sized letterbox flowers from our Valentine's flower collection. So I hope you enjoyed the rest of February, and we really can't wait to see you back here for March time when spring starts and we have the beginning of blossom season with our Blossom Season flower collection. Bye for now.